Welcome back to another episode of Stewing with Stacy. As bad as 2020 was, it brought a lot of joy to my family. In June, my first nephew was born. In this episode, I'm going to talk about becoming an aunt. Most little girls dream of becoming a mother. I was no different. It wasn't until my younger cousins and best friends started getting married and having babies that I realized that may not be in the cards for me. I'm not going to lie. That's a hard pill to swallow. I do the best I can to see happiness through other people's eyes, but I admit that can be pretty tough to do sometimes. I've learned that it's okay to feel this way. I'm still learning ways to deal with this, but one way I've found is to try to be the best aunt I possibly can. When I first found out that my sister was pregnant, I began wondering what it would be like for my niece or nephew to have an aunt who has a visible disability. Will he or she accept me? Will he or she be scared of me? What would this new bundle of joy think? Deep down, I knew my sister and brother-in-law would raise him knowing about my disability and teach him to be accepting of all people regardless of abilities, but that didn't stop those questions from swirling in my head. Due to COVID, when my sister had Charlie in June, obviously, nobody was allowed to visit in the hospital. I went down the weekend after to see him. On the way down to Madison, I was thinking about if and how I would be able to hold him. I shouldn't have worried because my sister brought out a boppy pillow and I tilted back my wheelchair. My sister set him right on my lap. Of course, she was right there in case I had a muscle spasm and suddenly moved. I fell in love with him. As he grew out of the real newborn stage, it got easier for me to hold him. When he was about 3 months old, I was playing with him, and I said to my mom, I think he already knows I'm different. He was just staring at me like he knew something was different. It was an interesting feeling. Now, at almost 9 months old, he can sit on my lap, and I can put my arm around him. He's an active little guy, so he doesn't sit still for long anymore. At Christmas, I was holding him, and he started trying to grab my joystick on my wheelchair. I quickly learned I need to make sure I have my chair off when he's on my lap. It won't be long before I can give him rides on the back of my chair. Will he and his possible future siblings have a different relationship with their aunt than most kids? Absolutely. I won't be able to play with them in a normal sense. And I know it's likely that they'll go through a stage where they are afraid of me because they will realize I'm different. But I also know my sister and brother-in-law along with my parents, and I will work through it and help him understand it's okay to have differences. Even though it can be emotionally hard at times, I absolutely love being an aunt. I hope in the years to come that Charlie and I will continue to bond and learn from each other. Are you an aunt or uncle with a similar situation? Share your story in the comments below. See you next time on Stewing with Stacy. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe.